Hey, YouTube. Well, the beat goes on, or should we say the mess goes on. All right. I just got my feathers ruffled a minute ago. All right, so I'm going to tell you about what happened yesterday. All right, so I was watching this brother. What is his name? Jay Wilson, yesterday, right? He was reviewing this gag order with Kaya. We are going to continue to talk about Miss Kaya, T.S. Madison, Queens, all that until we get tired of it. So get over it. Anyway, this guy, he was talking about, he was reviewing a gag order, which is what we do. I mean, it's YouTube. I can't sing. I don't dance. I don't juggle. This is commentary. This is what we do. Something's going on, we comment on it, right? Okay, so I was watching this thing, and he was talking about Kaya's show, and I didn't watch that. I don't really care that much about that. But he was also mentioned Michelle and their role in this whole thing, this way that they have installed themselves into it. So I made a comment now on someone else's page. I don't do a whole lot, but I do sometimes, because not only do I YouTube, but I am also a fan of YouTube. So I watch it. All right, let me tell you what happened. Let me tell you what I said. Okay, so he was talking about Kaya's show and talking about Michelle, because Michelle was there, and about how they forged this super quick relationship or whatever. So I simply asked a question. I said, this is what I wrote on his wall: what happened to Josh? 1 minute he was with Michelle every day. The next minute he's making his own videos on his own channel. Did they fall out? Was he getting too much shine on her channel? Or was it court day tease? Simple question. And I asked that question about everybody. When Kaya and Madison, that's where all this shit came from. It's people asking about what happened. Did they break up? Larry Reid, when he broke up with Buddha, when they split up, on their show, I commented about it. It's no harm done. Anyway, the Natural Girl, I think her name is the Natural Girl. Natural Girl, maybe she got spirits. Ask me, Timothy Blaine, why on earth do you care? Man, misery so badly wants company. She ain't do nothing evil, but she was so offended that I had the nerve to comment about Miss Michelle and Josh's situation. Let me tell you something, Natural Girl. I ain't mad at you. You ain't saying nothing horrible. But YouTube, we got to figure out what this thing is. Now, Michelle, particularly, I guess Josh is kind of new to the game, but Michelle, all she does is talk about people all day. Reality stars, they're people. People who sing music, they're people. Virtually anything that's going on in the news, they're all people, honey. And she comments on all of them. And anything that strikes her interest, she talks about it. That's what we do. That's what a YouTuber is. It's commentary, right? So if you are talking about other people all day long, that's all you do. It's how you make your living. It's how you pay your mortgage, your rent, and your other bills. It's your livelihood. Why would you be offended that somebody asked, did her and Josh split up? What's the big offense there? When you talk about other people, they are allowed to talk about your ass too. That's the point I want to make. So now, I asked the question because we all know, and I don't know if they're going to get attitude because I mentioned their name or not. Who cares? My question was, we all got used to seeing this Michelle person. I was just barely aware of her. I knew that Funky That Needed stuff was a year and a half ago or something like that. I kind of watched that a little bit. But I was not really aware of her until she installed herself into this Kaya and T.S. Madison thing. She put herself in the middle of that deliberately. She made herself part of that story. And she always had this guy who I was referred to as her sidekick or her. He said he's not gay, so I don't know. I thought it was just gay boy, one of the people her hangers on. But it was just a guy who she did her show with, right? But the point is, every time I saw her, I saw him. They were inseparable for whatever period this whole Kaya shit has been going on. And they always make comments about whatever's going on in this current situation with Queens Court, Madison, Kaya, right? Because Michelle was determined to get herself in the middle of that. But he made commentary with her. So I just thought of them as a team. They were like, that's her new Dineva or whatever. So a few days ago, this is right around the time that they had that court date, or slightly before that, I noticed that he was no longer with her when she did her reviews. She would usually go and bounce questions off of him, talk with him, work as a partner with him, mainly about Real Housewives, but other shows as well. He wasn't there. He was always there. He was always there, sitting slightly behind her on her right side. And so I thought it curious. So so I did a little research, and I see that right around the time that he stopped coming on her page, he started his own page. I think he started his own page on was it the 11th? No, a little before that. I think he started his page. The first post was on April the 6th, because that's my birthday. That's why I remember it. Anyway, and then like I'm a great big old fan of these guys, I'm just having commentary, honey. Just joining in the conversation. So he is no longer with her as her sidekick. Then remember how tight they were now. They were going down to all the clubs together and going to all Michelle stuff together, and they were fighting together, and they got in all that trouble about people calling the police on them and saying they were threatening them, using wrong language, and people were going to court. All this was going on, and right in the middle of all this going on, he disappeared from her channel. And right around the same time, he starts his own channel. At first, it was just ranting about the court case and all of this Madison stuff. And then I see that now he is actually commentating on current events and or reality TV. It's not a crime. All I asked was the question was, did they split up? And apparently they have. So I don't know. I don't know why I took such offense to that. It was no great big old nasty comment. I think it's because, no, I didn't even want to go into why that whole thread was getting a little strange, but it just struck me. This is commentary. We talk about things. Just like when you turn on the news on television, and you hear people talking, giving all these commentators on all these news shows and programs or whatever. Now, we don't often see this has happened, but if somebody decides, well, listen, she talking all about our business and all up in our life and all up under our dress, what about him? And what about her? Oh, did you hear what went on with it? It's fair game. You talk about them, they talk about you. You can't talk about them and then they say nothing. This was Josh's big argument. He felt like Madison would use a certain kind of language that virtually, everybody in the modern day use. Everybody in his YouTube streets uses. He felt like she shouldn't use that language because she don't want them to misgender her. So I'm not going to get into no big old whirlwind with all of that again. I think I've said all I have to say on those subjects. But just remember, people, it's commentary. It's harmless. It ain't vicious. I'm not being vicious toward them children. I asked the question. Did they split up? So you guys tell me, did they split up? When I go to Michelle's page now, I don't see him in any of her recent videos going back about a week. And I see his video started going back about a week and a half. So I think it's a reasonable thing to ask. I'm curious. I've asked it about every other group. Every other couple that's been on here that's no longer commentating together or working together. Why wouldn't I ask them about them? Okay, so I thought I'd clear that up. Don't ask me why that seemed to touch my soul. Like a spark plug hit my heart, but maybe it's just a strange mood. Anyway, so you guys tell me, if you know the tea, have those two split up, Josh and Michelle. No, you ain't got to pick sides and nothing like that. It's only a question, honey. You answer it or not.